Imagine you're sitting across from an entrepreneur pitching you the next big thing. Your mind races. This could be it. Years of hunting for deals where something deep inside screams, yes, this one. But then everything derails. Not because the idea sucks, not because the numbers don't add up. No, it's something terrifyingly simple. A single move, a gesture, a vibe, and you're out, cold, done, locked away from ever seeing that promise again. This is the brutal reality many angel investors face every day, being alienated, pushed away, disrespected not by malice, but by sheer ignorance. And it's exhausting. Here's the truth. Angel investing isn't just about money. It's about trust, about connection, about a raw electric chemistry that happens when you glimpse the fire in another person's eyes. A fire that matches your own. When that fire dies before it's even kindled, you're not just losing a deal, you're losing faith in what the new era of entrepreneurship could be. When you feel sidelined, ignored, or treated like some last resort ATM, it cuts deep. Because you know your time is scarce and precious. Your insight isn't endless. Your willingness to believe in the impossible is a rare, sacred thing. And yet so often it's squandered, wasted by founders who don't get it. The fastest way to push an angel investor away. Show up as a clone of every silver-tongued cookie-cutter pitch that's crossed their desk. Speak their language but mean nothing. Tell them what they want to hear, but betray your true vision. That's not just a fast track to alienation. It's a betrayal of the very essence of what investing in the edge means. Angels don't back conformity. They don't fund comfort zones. They invest in those mad enough to burn bridges, to unsettle the status quo, to make chaos beautiful. Anything less, and you're better off walking out the door yourself before they do it for you. More than anything, angels hate being treated like a checklist, like a resource to be tapped and tossed aside. Calling, emailing, pitching without respect for their time or intelligence, expecting them to be endlessly patient or endlessly hopeful. That crushes spirit. Every moment spent chasing the wrong signal dims the chances of catching the right one. When an angel sees a founder waste precious bandwidth with vague, bloated promises instead of sharp, brutal honesty, every alarm inside rings loud. They feel the waste. They feel the disrespect. Suddenly, the investment stops being a privilege and becomes a burden. No angel relishes the feeling of being gaslit, the idea that their experience is discounted or their questions are dismissed as nuisances. Yet founders do this constantly. When asked the hard questions about the market, the competition, the real numbers behind the dream, some founders shut down or wave them off. This isn't tough love. It's a red flag drenched in fake confidence. Angels are humans who crave brutal truth because they're the last line between a promise and an apocalypse. Denying them clarity is the fastest way to say, I don't want you here. And undeniably, few things burn bridges faster than dishonesty cloaked as optimism. But beneath all this friction lies the deep pain of misunderstanding. Angels want to help fuel the kind of rebellion that disrupts the cage, that refuses the binaries handed down by tired institutions. They want to back founders who just won't accept broken systems because they see beyond towns, borders, titles, and tired rules. What they need is courage. Yes, raw, unyielding courage. The courage to be vulnerable, fully exposed. To say, here's my mess, my grind, my vision, all of it. To refuse to shrink themselves or dumb down their ambitions. The fastest way to alienate an angel isn't a technical mistake. It's a failure to connect on that fierce, undeniable human level. And now, here's where most founders miss the mark entirely. They treat investors like distant money providers, not allies in a sacred mission. angels are always hunting for more than just a cool product or a good exit. They're hunting for kindred spirits, for those rare humans willing to burn for what's next. Investors want to feel part of a story bigger than spreadsheets, a story that transcends borders, irrelevance, monotony. When founders deliver only slides, data dumps, and rehearsed lines, angels switch off. They want to be pulled into the struggle, the fight, the raw heartbeat of transformation. If you won't invite them there, they'll quietly leave. What if instead, right at the start, founders owned their weird, their scars, their chaos? What if they laid bare their deepest frustrations with the system, with mediocrity, with false freedom masquerading as safety? What if the pitch wasn't just a pitch, but a declaration, a plea for partnership in tearing down old cages and crafting something wild and new? If that fire burns bright enough, every second of negotiation becomes electric. Investors don't feel like financiers. They feel like warriors assembling for battle. If you want to keep angel investors close, to keep their faith burning, you must understand the power of relentless honesty mixed with strategic vulnerability. Don't hide your doubts, your flaws, or your edges. Reveal them like a badge of honor. Investors smell bullshit from miles away, but are drawn magnetically toward grit and authenticity. More than growth projections or market share, what angels want is the pulse of a founder who refuses to settle. That human truth is your currency. Most investors also crave patience, something rare in today's instant world. They understand that transformation doesn't happen overnight. Yet they see founders who want everything yesterday, who push and nag, who misread the value of quiet scaling and long-term thinking. Pressuring an angel with unrealistic timelines or frivolous demands is a surefire way to erode trust. Angels back visionaries, not impulsive gamblers. They want commitment to the long haul, to strategy that survives storms, not shiny prototypes that burn fast and fade away. Here's one more brutal truth. The loudest, most desperate pitches are often the ones that most repel angels. Desperation smells like fear, and fear always scares away trust. Founders who act like they're the only game in town come off as fragile rather than confident. That fragility is a signal that the founder's foundation is weak. Angels want to back rock-solid foundations, not castles built on sand. If you want to keep an angel locked in your corner, embody quiet confidence, resilience, and above all, a readiness to learn and adapt. One of the most overlooked but killer moves that alienates angels is disrespect toward their intellect and experience. Cut through the noise, and there's nothing more offensive than assuming angels are clueless or greedy. These people have bled sweat and years riding the ragged edge of risk. They've lived through booms, busts, scams, and miracles. They are not pawns, bankers, or glorified checkbooks. They are partners. Treating them like anything less is a fast way to make sure you never see their money, their network, or their word of mouth again. So how do you flip this? How do you make angels your most passionate allies, your fiercest champions? Step 1 is to start every conversation with respect. Respect for their time, their wisdom, their intuition. Go in ready to listen more than you speak. And when you do speak, be sharp, clear, and honest. Step 2, own your narrative. Tell the real story, not the story you think they want. Be the founder awake to the system's lies, but too stubborn to accept them. Step 3, demonstrate patience, not just in timing, but in the art of building trust slowly like a fire in the dark. Step 4, be relentlessly selective. Choose investors who resonate with your fire, who share your disdain for norms, your refusal to settle for less than radical. Remember, every investor wants to believe they're part of an exclusive revolution, not some mass-produced assembly line startup story. If you don't cultivate that rebellious spirit in your pitch and in your partnership, you're simply another face to ignore. And it's not only about what you say, it's about how you make the investor feel. Do they feel like a vital force in your mission or just a line item? Are they met with gratitude, clarity, fierce transparency? Or do they sense you're just chasing their money like a hotshot gambler? The emotional truth behind the deal is as powerful as the financial one. The fastest way to alienate an angel investor is to ignore that truth, to treat this sacred collaboration as a transaction, a box to tick off, a stepping stone. But the fastest way to earn their enduring support is to blaze a trail together, wild, unfiltered, raw, real, and to honor that rare, incendiary bond between those who refuse to conform and those brave enough to fund it. So if there's one thing to remember, it's this: an angel investor's fire doesn't just ignite from a perfect plan or a flashy demo. It catches light from your authenticity, your courage to be weird, your grit to fight the slow grind, your respect for their place in the story, and your unwavering refusal to live anyone else's borrowed dream. Build that fire, feed that fire, protect that fire, and watch how angels don't just invest in your startup. They stake their belief in you, and together you become unstoppable.